This is Alderwoman Maria Haddon. So excited to welcome you to our first ever virtual art gallery. This 2020 through 2021 school year saw the creation of our inaugural 49th Ward Youth Advisory Council. The young people who have participated in my aldermanic council over this last year have been dedicated, they've been creative, they've been inventive, and I'm so excited that they put together this virtual art gallery to highlight the residents, the community organizations, and such an important part of the identity of residents in Rogers Park in the 49th Ward, which is art. Art and culture help us to communicate with one another. They help us to understand one another's diverse backgrounds, experiences, and identities. And so it's with great excitement that I welcome you to our first virtual art gallery. After today, this will be available for a year for you to view on our website and to be able to check out and learn more about different artists that we're featuring here who live in our community and are a vital part of making Rogers Park a place that I call home and love, and that you love as well. Thank you so much. Thank you to our Youth Advisory Council for making this come together. We appreciate your leadership and you lifting up the importance of arts in the 49th Ward.
Hello everyone, and welcome to 49 Expressions, a virtual art gallery showcasing the beautiful work created by 49th Ward residents, workers, and students. I'm so glad that you guys could all tune in to celebrate your community, but first, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the Youth Advisory Committee and the importance of art in the 49th Ward. The Youth Advisory Committee is a group of high school students who advise the 49th Ward office and provide a unique perspective and innovation to the well-being of the community. In less than a year, we've led a successful food drive, created an Instagram account to highlight opportunities in the ward, and we have also worked to hold spaces for voices that are not usually heard in the grand scheme of politics and community work. Personally, I believe spaces like the 49th Ward Youth Advisory Committee are essential. As a high school student, I've interacted with many teenagers who are under the impression that since they are not eligible to vote, that their voice doesn't matter and they have no way to be involved in politics. However, with the Youth Advisory Committee placing teens in a position where they hold the power to directly pitch ideas, suggestions, and projects to improve the community, we are changing that narrative. I joined the committee to spearhead that change and illustrate to other teenagers that we do have a voice. I also cherish the 49th Ward community with my whole heart, and I knew that this council would be a tangible way to implement projects like this very art gallery. As one of the co-chairs of the committee, I've been able to learn practical skills, strengthen my leadership, and learn how to collaborate better. The passion and appreciation I hold for this committee is consistent throughout every single member, and this passion built the foundation for this art showcase. 49 Expressions was created as a way to celebrate art in the midst of a pandemic. As the idea grew from a thought on the back burner of a very busy youth committee to a full-fledged project, so did the mission of the gallery. While reflecting on the idea in order to improve it, I realized that so many projects I'd encountered over the pandemic had been founded on the idea of bringing people together. Although those projects are definitely essential for the community, I didn't want this project to feel like we were mourning our community and its plethora of creativity. Instead, I wanted it to be a chance for everyone to share art and to remind the community how much we are continuing to grow artistically and communally. Once this intent was established, we recognized that our mission was to bring the community closer through the mutual appreciation of the 49th Ward's comfort and community through artistic expression. Now that this project is complete, I can look back and appreciate the ways it was valuable not only as a way to unite the community, but also as a learning experience for our members. We can now better grasp the ins and outs of how to promote an event through creating and distributing flyers, posting social media campaigns, and reaching out to local businesses. Overall, the takeaway I'd like everyone to leave this show with is the importance of art in our community. The 49th Ward is full of creativity, and I can proudly say it's been one of the most positive influences in my life. The art in the 49th Ward has established a sense of comfort in residents, including the members of the committee. Reflecting back to events involving art, it's clear that there's no better way to bring the community together. For instance, during a signature 49th Ward event, the Glenwood Arts Festival, artists and residents come together to celebrate and support each other in a summer festival like no other. In traditions like the annual painting of the Pratt Beach benches, not only are artists allowed to showcase unique illustrations, but the art also becomes a part of the landscape, which shapes a key part of the 49th Ward. Art also serves as a way for residents to express their individuality and share that with fellow residents. The art installation on Morse, next to the Lifeline Theater, is a great instance of this, with its presence as an art piece, helping it to establish creativity on the artist's end, while also serving as a beautiful landscape for people passing by. The 49th Ward is also home to many murals. Whether they are painted onto train bridges or posted on the wall of a small business, each individual mural encompasses elements that are unique to the ward. Even in the darkest days of our community, I know that there will be an art piece a few blocks down that will remind me of the beautiful essence that is the 49th Ward. Art also serves as a beautiful reminder of the diversity of the 49th Ward's residents. The art present within the bounds of our community consistently transcends past social conformity and showcases the wide variety of personalities, social groups, cultures, and interests in our residents. You could scroll through the ward and see art pieces utilizing cubism, pop art, surrealism, all within the bounds of a couple blocks. In addition to the many different art styles that are represented, art in the community addresses many different social justice issues, helping to raise awareness about issues that affect residents. Truly, art consistently unites us, serving as a progressive force for the betterment of the ward and the greater Chicago area. I'd once again like to thank all of you guys for joining us this evening. To all of the artists who submitted their work, we are so greatly appreciative that you could take the time to share your creations to help strengthen our community. Your contributions are continuing to develop the strong presence of art in the ward, and your passion and talent help us progress towards a more creative community every day. To those of you watching, we'd like to thank you for taking the time to your very busy day to support the 49th Ward Youth Advisory Council and your community members. I sincerely hope you all enjoy 49 Expressions.
Shattered by Mark Cleveland. Living in, breathing in, and walking the streets and along the lakeshore in Rogers Park cannot but influence the artwork I make. Each piece I begin starts me on a path of discovery that, through many twists and turns, requiring conscious and not so conscious decisions, leads me to my ultimate destination, a completed piece. Beneath the surface, the hope is that the work will transport viewers, however briefly, to that other place. Melanie Johnson, artist exhibiting work at Burgu. Vast Beach by Mandy Neufer. One of the beauties of this area is the ability to feel a vast space in such a crowded city. Beach pathway. Any time of the year, the lake is a precious part of the 49th Ward. Scoping the land. The lakefront can make you feel transported to a completely different world. Rabbit 1 by Nicholas Hayes. Frolicking rabbits seem to be everywhere in our neighborhood. Rabbit 2. Friends have told me it is hard to believe something so delightful can be an infestation. Rabbit 3. I have tried to play with our complicated relation with rabbits in these ceramic pieces. A Full Moon's Night by Aviva Gladstein. This piece is called A Full Moon's Night. It was done with colored pencils. It is a scene of blue mountains under a dark night sky with a full moon. This is Important by Lewis Lane. Lewis Lane is a narrative visual artist and illustrator residing in Chicago's Rogers Park neighborhood. Decade. His work focuses on storytelling, simple aesthetic, and recycled, resonant material. Aquas. He favors reclaimed windows and found glass as canvas, combined with cardboard and acrylic to create multi-dimensional paintings, punctuated by saturated color and bold line work. Charlotte Cox. This artwork is inspired by the piece Time Transfixed by René Magritte, an earlier example of surrealism. I used a random, everyday space, a bowling alley, as the base, similar to Magritte's use of a simple fireplace mantel. From here, I used surrealism to bring color, excitement, and allure to the piece through random but interesting elements like mountains, skylines, and waves. Rex Cassidy. Rex is a non-binary artist living in Rogers Park. A former teacher at Kilmer, they are graduating with a master's in art education this May. Sam Bender. This work, created over the last year, reflects my struggle to feel connected to a community while forced to be apart from it. Depicting many visual styles and themes converging in space to become one whole, the divisions between them disappear the more closely they're examined. Empty Bottle with Hat by Michael Robert Pollard. My work explores the intersections of my past and present. Bird, influenced by daily life, Americana, modern art, loud music, and comic books. You are the government. I use paint, found objects, canvas, discarded materials, and recurring marks to create a language and visual exploration reflecting my journey. Bait by Yvette Wesley. This piece shows a figure sitting on a dock using a heart as fishing bait. It was inspired from the memory of dangling feet in the lake on warm days and being carefree with love. Stop is a geometric abstract of urban landscape. It is also a call to action to stop, rather to stop the violence or to stop and notice beauty in the world. 8. Dock Midnight by Terry Grant. I paint to decompress just as much as I paint to express a thought or feeling. Sometimes we try and work through our issues consciously, but I have found that painting helps me resolve an inner issue by coming at it from different angles. 10. Dock Midnight. I also challenge myself by setting time goals so that whatever it is I need to work through, it's going to be done in a particular time frame. 12. Dock Midnight. I may be decompressing, but I don't have forever. Joy by Julie Ann Osborg. Many of my experiences living in the 49th Ward center around viewing the neighborhood from my daughter's eyes. My daughter's life in the 49th Ward includes swimming at beaches, riding trains downtown, sampling food from different cultures, being surrounded by art, music, and theater, and attending school. One day, as we walked home from the playground, I decided to paint the wonderment seen in my daughter's eyes as she took in the beauty of our neighborhood. Erica Iris currently works as an artist exhibiting at Burgu, hopes to make people happy with fun pop art. Crow on a Fence Post by Rowan Hartfield. The crows grow smarter every day, and we would do well to appease them. This crow looks out over the 49th Ward, its current home but future dominion. At the start of the pandemic last year, I decided to paint what frightened me. While initially unsettling, it was comforting to have this terrible disease captured in some way. It has hung on my wall since April, a reminder to remain vigilant during this crisis. In these dark times, one goose steps forth. With lightning in her breath and love of community in her heart, Lightning Goose protects the 49th Ward. Honk! Maureen McCarthy. I have lived in Rogers Park since 1992. The beauty of the lakefront and the vibrancy of the neighborhood has made it a wonderful place to live. Tim Newell. Raza Aga. This is a pencil drawing of a typical footbridge over a small brook in a village in the Kashmir Valley. Village women collect grass feed for their livestock. There are chinar trees in the background. A Sufi shrine in the mountains of the Kashmir Valley. The council wants to give a shout out to the youngest artist that submitted to the youth and adult section. Ariane A, age 8. The blue ball is Giant Ocean Planet, and the red ball is the nearest star. The mushroom creatures are toads protecting Giant Ocean Planet from other creatures. A spike ship and anti-missile that are trying to invade Giant Ocean Planet. This is a picture of Goomba from Mario World. And the council favorite is Rabbit 1 by Nicholas Hayes.
Hi, my name is Kathleen Andes, and I'm the art teacher at Newfield School, and I'm delighted to share the work of some of my students. This year has been an extremely difficult one for all of us, and returning to school online in the fall, while welcome, created its own share of new challenges for teachers, families, and students across the country. My students are fortunate to go to school in a community where the arts are valued. From the Art Round Trip exhibits and annual Artist of the Wall celebration to Loyola Park's Black History Month celebration, Rogers Park is a community that celebrates creative expression. The 49 Expressions exhibition is just another example of this. At Neufield School, students have always learned about the fine and performing arts through arts and music classes, as well as valuable partnerships with community organizations such as Lifeline Theater, Old Town School of Folk Music, and Design Dance. Our administration and LSC have supported the arts, and we've been fortunate to have access to a wide variety of materials, ample class time to create, and the generous support of our families. When I began teaching remotely, I was challenged to rethink what art class would look like and what we could do without the resources we normally had. I knew I wanted my students to continue to make art, look at and talk about the work of other artists, and share and reflect on their own work with their peers. Unexpectedly and delightfully so, working online with materials found at home didn't seem to limit my students. In fact, the format encouraged us to spend more time sharing our work with one another and talking about our own art, while providing positive feedback for our peers. While sharing our work, we were able to create a community where students supported their classmates, and as artists, they became more comfortable talking about their own work. The work you'll see was created during art class on their own at home with the encouragement of their peers during remote art class. You'll see work in notebooks, loose leaf paper, and sketch pads using crayons, markers, and paint from home. You'll see fingers and hands as well as the students photographed their work and sent it to me for display online. I'm so proud of their hard work, their learning, and their flexibility, and I hope you enjoy their beautiful art. Thank you.
Sophia N., kindergarten. Adrian D., grade 1. Anna F., grade 1. Julian G., grade 1. Jalen J., grade 1. Daniela A., grade 2. Abolaji O., grade 2. Abolaji O., grade 2. Leanne O., grade 2. Leanne O., grade 2. Sarifat S., grade 2. Jacqueline W., grade 2. Antoine B., grade 3. Alfonso C., grade 3. Daniel R., grade 3. Joelle X., grade 3. Nusair Z., grade 3. Jose A., grade 4. Mirbeck A., grade 4. Sheena C., grade 4. Jeremy H., grade 4. Simone L., grade 4. Rebecca L., grade 4. Rosemary S., grade 4. Venus T., grade 4. The council favorite is Sheena C., grade 4.